This show is sponsored by Queens Infusions, a mompreneur-owned brand that creates terpenes and CBD-infused wellness products. Woman-owned, mompreneur, small business-owned, Queens Infusions wellness products are homemade in small batches from locally sourced ingredients, and they are my absolute favorite. To mellow out, to chill, to enjoy the scent, the taste, ooh, you name it. You don't want to miss this. Go to the show notes, go to Queens Infusions Etsy shop, and at checkout, use DDRT code for 20% off, courtesy of Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast. Welcome to Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast, your weekly dose of many discussions and opinions, a show where we get comfortable being uncomfortable. And remember, no topic is off limits. Now let's talk about it. Bing bong. You know I had to come through real New York. Hey yo, what's up, baby? Take me out to dinner. Welcome back, guys, to another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk Podcast with your favorite host, Miss D. And it feels good to be back. Can I just say that fucking Bing Bong meme video viral TikTok shit really put me in a New York state of mind. Let me just say that right now. Like, you gotta wear your pair of Timbs with a fitted. And then you gotta say that. I'm just saying. Anyway, it feels great to be back. I wanted to be your regular, degular, schmegular Bronx Girl. Coming in real hot on this mic after a week of a break. If you guys heard my mini-sode from Tuesday, you guys already know your girl just needed that break, and I'm back and it feels good. So let's just dive right in, y'all. This is gonna be a full episode, nothing too crazy, right? Because we're not gonna make it too crazy, but I definitely want to bring in the segments back just to give you guys the feel, the doses that you deserve. You know, we're gonna kick it off as we normally do, and as always, I always make my Solita episodes poppin'. So here we are. Let's get it. All right. So for Raw Mess of the Week, you guys remember, Raw Mess of the Week, we discuss anything that came off a little messy on social media or even the news or just my life. No, just kidding. That's usually on the OverDose, but it's definitely with social media, more or less, right? And I want to discuss a little something. So y'all know the holidays are like here. And one of the key things that always happens during the holidays is families get together. And usually it's families who don't normally always see each other all the time, right? And every so often, you know, them kids that be thinking they're grown and they could just be talking a mess or, you know, intrometidos, like just getting involved into adult conversations, they will do such a thing, right? And one of the things our parents used to tell us, at least my parents for sure, used to tell me was, you know, you don't got to be telling people your business from the house. Like, don't nobody needs to know what goes on in our home. You don't be telling shit. Don't be telling your grandmother nothing. Like, I couldn't go complain to my grandmother about shit, even though I never listened. I always did. But they used to tell us that, right? Because now you will get popped. You get popped right in your fucking mouth, right? Because you're not supposed to be telling people nothing that be going on in your house. I say that to say, for the Raw Mess of the Week, y'all, can we just address the fact that Northwest, Kim Kardashian's daughter, totally went viral on a TikTok live, I believe it was, and she was like recording spaces of her home. And ma'am, Kim Kardashian was like, what are you doing? Get off live. You're not supposed to be on live. And I saw a mix of commentary on that, right? Some people were just like, oh, but you know, you give her like everything. You give her like the electronics. Why wouldn't she go on live? Like, this is on you. You know, talking about shit like that. And to be quite honest with y'all, no, as much as I always disagree with Miss Kim Kardashian, y'all notice I dropped that West. Ew. As much as I disagree with her with majority of the things that she ever does, on this one, I'm kind of with her. I'm with her because I feel like just because, you know, Northie thinks she cool and down or whatever, and don't get me wrong, she's a cute little girl. But she still got rules in the house. No, like, you can't just be going viral and be sharing all of your house business with the whole fucking world. Like, your mom's is laid up. You don't know if a titty was out or not. Like, you don't know if the house was quote unquote clean, you know, although I know there should be looking like real fucking clean all the time. But it's the point, it's the principle of it. You know, just because they are in the public eye doesn't necessarily mean the whole fucking world has to see everything that's inside their house. And I didn't like a lot of the fucking scrutiny that was being thrown at Kim's way. And again, I don't always agree with her parenting. I don't always agree with her. I watched the show for a very long time. I can't even say I like her, but I'm with her on this. I'm with her. And quite frankly, shout out to Kim for not getting up and just slapping up her daughter. I mean, of course she can't do that on IG Live and or TikTok Live. And listen, I don't condone violence. I really don't. But back in my day, that's how I learned not to do shit ever again. I mean, I didn't always learn that, but majority of the time I learned not to do the shit again because I would get popped. It's that simple. And I'm not saying it's okay, right? I'm not saying it's okay. You guys already know we're trying here to tap into certain things of our own lives and in our generation to not have to repeat certain things. But sometimes some of these kids need to get slapped up because it worked for us. Anyway, that's my raw mess of the week. I needed to give my own commentary on that because I was not going to let it go. I just wasn't. Now, on this segment, as raw as it gets, we're just going to dive right into this one. Hands on my knees. Y'all already know who I'm about to bring up in this topic of conversation. And this one we're going to title Beauty, Booty, and Brains. Okay? Now, I've discussed on the show before, okay, about body shaming and body types and this whole, you know, society acceptance of certain body types versus others and what looks appealing to which body type and so on. We've discussed this on some raw talk on this platform, right? But I have to bring something up. I would do such an injustice to not bring this to the fucking table, right? I think there have been a few times on the show where I've brought this topic of conversation, and I've definitely had it with people around me, you know, people of different backgrounds and people with different credentials, right? And so I bring this to the table because I think it's important to just highlight it, right? There have been times where people have said, oh, you know, if, you know, people who don't have degrees will say, oh, you don't need a degree to have a successful career, blah, 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 blah. True. A lot of people don't need a degree to have a very successful career. Very, very true. And then, you know, you have those people who are like, no, go to school. Like, it's great. Like, you have something to fall back on. You know, some people end up with student loans, some don't, what have you, right? And there was quite some time, a huge portion of my life after having a creative space and after building my own platform to have my own voice, outspoken and vibrant and so on, right? The show here, where I said, you know, to have a career, to make money, you don't always need to have a degree. Some people can really make it with their talents. And I stand by that. I do. I am one that I do feel based on my listenership, my followers, people who are loyal to me through this platform and who have loved my episodes, my show, my ebook, you name it. I do find it that in their opinion and of my own, I do believe I have my own talents, but I also have my own credentials and I have education with degrees, right? To show for it. I also have a shitload of fucking student loans. I don't even want to talk to Joe Byron right now, but I say that to say I want to be able to put out there how easy it is for someone who can absolutely, a woman in this case, flaunt her body, right? Be very comfortable in her own skin and not have that at all take away any of her credentials as someone who just got a college degree, a bachelor's in science, in health administration. Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion, because she just shattered some heavy motherfucking glass. She shattered glass. And listen, I know we can sit here about what type of people we see as heroes, as legends, as people, idols maybe we admire, right? And we could say they shattered glass, right? Michelle Obama shattered glass. You have in the Latino community too, you have so many women that are legendary. AOC has shattered glass. You know, when she wore those hoop earrings and her white suit with that very bold red lipstick, right? You have so many, right? Especially in the female sector of it all. You have so many that you could say they shattered glass. They stepped all over that shit and shattered it into a million fucking pieces. But when it comes to the stallion, right? You know, someone who's a rapper, someone who shows off her body, and according to lots of commentary from social media, from society, she ain't shit. You know, she a hoe. Because she shows off her ass and her titties, right? She was able to prove that even through all her talents and even in being comfortable in her own skin to display her body for her acts, for her performances, for her dances, for her music videos, for the added oomph to her talents, right? She was still able to say, bing bong, I got my fucking degree. That's what the fuck she was able to fucking say. She was able to finish college. She was able to set her goals to something she wanted, to something passionate, right? To something that she considers a love just as much as her talent, her music, right? And she was able to successfully accomplish it, complete it, and show off a degree to it, right? She has her credentials in that area too. And I wanted to talk about the beauty, the booty, and the brains, because the bottom fucking line is there shouldn't be no limitations to whether, I mean, in this case, we're talking about women, right? But you also have men. You have men out there who have their talents, but also may have other aspirations, right? And they too don't have to limit themselves. Women shouldn't have to limit themselves. Women shouldn't have to follow a certain idea or a certain model or a certain anything to say that that's exactly what they have to do and that's the only thing that they can do. And if they don't do that, they're a hoe, they ain't shit, or they have nothing to fall back on. They can't be independent. And when it comes to the stallion, she just shattered glass and she was like, fuck all of y'all. Fuck your life. That's what she just did. She was able to prove that she was able to do that. And there are plenty of other women I myself know that do have plenty of talent and can still pursue a full-blown career with education and with degrees and with credentials. And the truth is not to take away from anybody who chooses not to. And it's not just to go and give all these unnecessary flowers without earned respect to someone who chooses to do so. It's just to say that anything is truly possible when you put the work into it and you put your mind to it, if that's really what you want to fucking do. And I could not get as raw as it gets on this show, on this episode. I mean, if I'm going to come back, I'm going to come in real hot with it on these topics, right? Like, I had to put the shit out there. I had to put the shit out there as a woman who does ever so often, or as a single 36-year-old woman, ever so often, I do exercise however which way I feel to be sexy and feel sexy, whether I'm all covered up from head to toe or not. Because my cleavage always be out, right? My titties always be out. And I've still got my full-blown career and this show to show for my talents. Period. So, there goes your as raw as it gets segment. Now, on the double or nothing, speaking of education and literacy, there's another hot topic I want to be able to discuss. And it's something that is no secret. We've definitely discussed it. I'm sure on a very personal note, individually, all of you listeners, myself for sure, I can tell you I've definitely discussed this multiple times, right? But I wanted to bring this up because it actually was a scene in one of my favorite shows. And sadly, this show is coming to an end. It is HBO's Insecure. But it was a scene that came up that really just hit me hard. And listen, without dishing out too much of personal information, of mine because it's not really mine, right? But it's no secret, a lot of us in our 30s have much older parents, right? And I luckily still have both my parents alive. But it's something that has actually happened in my home. And I witnessed it in my favorite TV show. And it's not to make this a sad moment. It's to make this a reality moment. It's to keep it all the way fucking raw. And it would not be justice to the double or nothing if I don't hit it real hard on this one and give you the double dose. So we're going to keep it all the way raw here. Like all the way raw. This whole bullshit with our elders choosing to ignore the financial literacy that we all need from start to finish, that they needed from the very beginning, but unfortunately they never got. In my case, being the daughter of immigrant parents, surely there's more cultural factors than an educational factor on that, because you're just not supposed to talk about certain things. Hence, raw mess of the week, right? Some things you just got to keep private and they stay in your home. But this topic of conversation is important to bring to light, and it's important to address it, because I think at some point we as a collective, as society, as communities, right, sub-communities in our communities, whether it is by our cultures, by our ethnicity, right, or just by our demographic, we need to be able to put in place resources to this factor. We need to be able to find the places that could provide these resources to address this factor. And listen, at this point right now, I sort of kind of maybe feel like a complete fucking idiot and hypocrite, because this was something that early on in this year I wanted to really get on top of and address and stay consistent with becoming more financially literate to what my needs are and what my future goals are. And I have not. I haven't done so. I had a plan in place for it. Unfortunately, life just started lifing. Shit took a turn on many different levels. I said it in the mini-sode this week. I had to allocate and reallocate funds in certain instances. And thank God for certain funding that I was able to fall back on, right? And certain decisions that I was hoping to make and execute, I have not been able to execute yet. But that doesn't mean I don't have to keep it all the way raw here with y'all. That doesn't mean I'm not going to put it all on the table and on this mic. And I say that to say, it is still not too late to become financially literate to what the reality is when us, and I say us because if y'all know this show, I welcome everybody, but the truth is I'm in my mid-30s, and so therefore I'm based on my stats, y'all all in your mid-30s too, majority of y'all. And again, to the point that our parents, if we all are gracefully given the opportunity to still have our parents with us or our guardians with us, a lot of them tend to ignore the topic of conversation of what happens with life after death. Yes, I'm quoting Big's album on that. In Insecure, the episode where the character Molly, fantastic character, her mom suffered a stroke, and they started putting in place certain documentation, living will, and, who takes what, or what do I have to leave behind for my kids? This was a conversation with her father and someone who is her friend, but also takes care of these type of things for families, right? And there was a conversation there that was had about disappointment because the father just didn't have enough to leave behind for them. But what it really, really was interesting to me is just how they were able to put in that scene the fact that the family just didn't even want to talk about this shit, right? Let's just not even address it, right? We're just gonna pray here that this woman is just gonna survive, right? And at the end of the day, while all of us may have our faith, right, and whatever it is that we may believe in, whether it is a higher power or just spiritually, right, to any spiritual being or even the universe, that our loved ones are always going to be with us, the reality is that's not the case. And the reality is that these type of decisions, if you have an opportunity to discuss it with your family, you should. These are the type of things that the collective should decide together. If it's going to be beneficial to leave shit behind to your kids or not, or you make an executive decision of what to do with it in life, to then know if you could give still something to your kids for them to be able to say, my mom and pops did this for me. Okay. I needed to bring this up, with the beauty, booty, and brains, right? Um, because sometimes I feel like we allow fear and we allow a little dose of insecurity, again tracing it back to our cultural differences, cultural backgrounds, generational curses, right? And we don't think about how we're really fucking it up for ourselves, for our future too, our future children, and setting these things in place. I am someone who from the very beginning on the show has always voiced out, I'm in healthcare. That is the career I have led myself into success, and I'm very proud of it. But because of that, it was really where I was exposed to a lot of this bullshit, to scenes like the one in the show Insecure with Molly and her parents. I was exposed to things like that because I was never really around death growing up. And it was only then, after getting an education, after getting both my college degrees, including my master's, after excelling in my career, that I was able to be exposed to certain situations like that where my expertise had some form of involvement, right? And then I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, yo, but my family doesn't do this shit. My family doesn't practice this. Where's the brains in that, right? Where is the brains in that? Why are we not thinking collectively on this shit and making executive decisions as a family? I had to give this a double dose, and I had to put this out there because one more thing that definitely came up as a question to myself, a question I've definitely shared with my siblings, and a question I definitely want to challenge people to ask themselves. Are we always just expecting that our elders are supposed to leave behind, besides, their teachings, their values, their principles that they instill in us, right? Besides a legendary mark on that name. Remember what I always say on this show, our name is our brand. Besides leaving just even that little piece of legend, right? Are they supposed to leave us something materialistic behind for us to benefit from? Because that's really what it's about when you think about it. Like, are we so invested in the idea that, yo, if my mom and pops got that, that's going to be part mine? Or should we be more invested in not repeating certain types of behaviors, or not repeating the story and breaking that cycle and doing better for ourselves? Because at the end of the day, we are in a place where we have excelled, where we are getting our talents in place for accomplishments, for success, or even our careers through education. Food for thought on that. Something to think about, something to challenge you on, and to see that's really a topic of conversation you are willing and able to have with the collective. How about that for a will? All right, y'all. We're going to go right into the overdose. And on this one, y'all, I have to hit this one real heavy. Okay. I know, maybe this one a little morbid, maybe not. I want to just cheer it up a little bit. I want to just hit it off in full cheer, because y'all already know, listen, we're not out of this whole fucking pandemic shit. People are still getting sick. Variants are doing what they do best. Y'all, as much as we got to be careful, and yes, we still do, mask the fuck up. But y'all, isn't it so beautiful? And like, maybe it's just me. I don't know. But lately, my ass has been in the city. And if you're from New York, you know exactly what I mean by in the city, okay? In the city means I'm anywhere on the island of Manhattan. That's right, because that's an island, y'all. And I have been there lately. Saturday evenings, Sunday evenings. I've been taking some trips, coming in and out of the city, right? And I've just been really just so over fucking joyed to see holiday lights, to see people in holiday spirit, to see gloves and scarves and hats. Yeah, I'm a winter baby. I'm a November baby. So this little stuff means a lot to me. And to be able to see that, to be able to see people buying gifts and shopping, it gives a little bit of fucking hope. I chose today to keep it on a good vibe. It's not a raw rant. Maybe next week I'll bring it back to that. But I want to keep it on a good vibe on that. I want to be able to share with you guys what my joys have been. I'm not done Christmas shopping because as always, I always start this shit mad fucking late. Some people are about to get some gift cards to their favorite coffee spots. And you already know, if you're from New York, you only got like 2 choices. But I mean, I already said on the mini, so I'm doing things different this year, which is dope. But it's just the spirit itself. You know, I've been going through some things and I've had to make executive decisions to make certain changes, right? To do things a little different, a little different. And I don't regret it by no means. I absolutely do not. I think it's fitting for me, fitting how I want to close out this year, and how I want to be able to celebrate in peace. But still bring a little dose of happiness, right, to myself and to others, right, whether near or far. But it's also just to share that, you know, during the holiday season when things get a little hectic, you know, it gets busy. And you got people around you, or maybe you don't. Maybe you're not able to. Just remember that there are some people who are alone. Remember to extend that joy and, you know, that love and that spiritual excitement to other people. Stay very, very positive on that note, because the fact is, and it's not to make this at all sad, it's just not everybody's in a good space, especially during the season. For some people it's a lot tougher than others. And the least you could do is that if you're able to tap into a fucking smile, because something just looks so beautiful, something as simple as New York City lights on Fifth Avenue, or the Rockefeller Christmas tree, right? Or the Macy's lights, right? Share that joy. Take a fucking picture. Put it all over fucking social media. Y'all be loving recording every single fucking thing. You know, you out having drinks, share a picture of that drink. Cheers to all of y'all. Take it with me. Take a sip. Take a shot. You name it. I mean, just really genuinely spread the love, spread the cheer. You never know who fucking needs it. And it's never enough. It's just never enough. And on that note, guys, this was fun. I definitely wanted to come in to just put some highlights out there. You know, the holidays is about family. And it's about, you know, the New Year's coming right around the corner, right? When the holidays start, you know, it's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, then it's the New Year's. And then all these resolutions start to be set on in place. And you're writing it on Post-its, or you're writing it on a journal, or you're writing it on a piece of paper, or you're writing it on a fucking email to somebody, right? What have you. And I wanted to discuss family matters a little bit, right? And the things that go on behind the closed doors, and the things that we can't turn a blind eye to. And also discuss how beautiful it is when some people really set their goals, no matter what the fuck it is that the rest of society tells them they can or cannot do. Because if it inspires anybody, right, to be able to set certain goals for yourself for the New Year's resolution. And like I said in the mini-sode, fuck the whole diet shit. No, I mean real fucking goals. I mean, don't get it twisted. Those are real goals and they're hard to get to. But that's an all year round thing. That's an all your life thing. Your wellness should be your whole life thing. I mean, other goals that you can actually check off and say, okay, I did this now. Let me move on to the next one, right? It's the goal setting. It's the reality of when we gather together as family for the holidays. It's not just to eat and cheers. It's also to just remember that, you know, when you are with your family, there are other things that we should be able to gather together for. You know, it's not to make this any less joyful than what, you know, the holidays are supposed to be. It's just raw talk, y'all. It's just raw talk in a real holiday spirit. And it wouldn't be me if I don't keep it all the way fucking raw and bold and bring this to the fucking table. You already know on this mic. So fuck your life. Bing bong. Real fucking New York, y'all. I love that meme. I am not a fan of TikTok. I know I still have to get on it, but I love that whole fucking meme. Just everything that has stirred up from that fucking phrase, and just the collective of how they put that shit together, and everybody goes so viral. And I think the reason why is because, honestly speaking, it really touches my real New York City heart to the core. And sometimes that's what the fuck we need. After what this city has been through, we've needed that. And on that note, guys, this is a short episode, a full episode nonetheless, with all your segments. We are back, coming in real hot. I've missed y'all. I thank you so much for the break you guys gave me. And as always, this has been another week and another episode on Double Dose of Raw Talk podcast. I am your host, Misty. And you guys, as always, will tune in next week. Bye. Sup, baby? Take me out to dinner. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And we are live on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Make sure to tell a friend to subscribe, rate, and review. Talk to you later. Bye.